Although it is said in some Eastern wisdom that you should not think about the nature of God, sometimes our human mind involuntarily tends towards strange questions. Where is God, and how is He? How did it come into existence, or how can it exist from eternity? And finally, what is God, and what does He consist of? To answer these questions, some people come to the concept that God is made of energy. But can this conclusion be correct? In this video, we try to find the answer to this question. There is knowledge in the world that is very difficult for ordinary people to access. This is because, nowadays, most people grow up in a specific educational system and under a single upbringing. In this channel, we try to talk about knowledge that is not usually discussed in the educational system and normal books. Hidden secrets that sometimes you have to read ancient books and forbidden knowledge to find them. First, we will express the concept of energy and try to check its characteristics. In the next step, we will compare the characteristics of energy with God Almighty, and finally, we will reach a conclusion. In definition, energy determines the ability to do work. It can have different forms and can change from one form to another. But what are the characteristics of energy? According to the definition of energy provided by physics, energy depends on the existence of matter. For example, the sun's energy is the result of the burning and conversion of hydrogen into helium in the sun's core. In addition, energy has a source and a producer and is always a product of a physical or chemical process. In addition, energy is measurable and quantifiable. Each type of energy, according to its producer, has a specific amount and magnitude, and unit of measurement. Energy has its own specific power range and limitations. For example, light, which is in the form of photons and energy packets, travels only in a straight line and can never pass through an opaque barrier. And finally, different forms of energy can be converted into each other. For example, the elastic energy stored in the spring is transformed into kinetic energy when the spring is released. Or the peninsular energy of the water behind the dam, which turns into electrical energy. Also, in the last 100 years, scientists, especially Albert Einstein, proved that it is possible to convert matter into energy and vice versa. With these descriptions, is God really energy? How to make a correct comparison? According to the mentioned characteristics and also by studying God's attributes in religious, philosophical, and mystical books, we realize that there are contradictions. It is stated in this way that God is necessary, has the knowledge, has the will, and is pure and free from any needs, limitations, and defects. However, energy is a being with defects, needs, and limitations and lacks knowledge and will. But according to the philosophy of the existence of God, we know that it is not dependent on the matter. It has no source and no cause. Also, God cannot be quantified and cannot be changed. God is absolutely needless and free from defects and limitations. It is stated in the Quran that He is neither a name nor a body. He has neither a likeness nor a resemblance. It has no form and no example, no limit, and no place. It is neither light nor dark. It is neither spiritual nor carnal, and no place and time can accommodate Him. It is also stated that God surrounds everything. Therefore, it is beyond measure, and no tool can be a scale for His greatness because He surrounds every tool. It was said that light is a form of energy. On the other hand, in the Holy Quran and other holy books of religions, God is described with light. Now we have to see what the researchers think of this comparison. Some belief, light means the creator of the heavens and the earth. And, God's light is the light from which all lights originate, and it is His general mercy. Some say, the meaning of light is enlightenment and guidance. God is like an endless light and a guide to the world. As he says in another place, God guides by means of his light. Some have also said, it is God whose ray of existence gives light and life to the earth and the heavens, and if he withholds his favor from them, everything will fall into decay, darkness, and destruction. Even if the light is defined as anything whose essence is visible and manifests things other than itself, God is still the best example of absolute light. The result is that the comparison of the energy and the attributes of God Almighty indicates a deep and wide contradiction, and it is not possible to attribute the energy to God with those limitations, shortcomings, and weaknesses. Because the Lord of the universe is perfection, power, and absolute knowledge, but energy with all its types has defects, and no type of it can be compatible with God, the creator of the world. In this video, we discussed the question of whether God is energy. Is this a fair and reasonable comparison? God has introduced himself to man through light in religions, and they have said in mystics that you should not think about his main essence because you will be misled.